I actually disagree with the advice that you have to niche down immediately on YouTube because after building my channel and coaching students, I realized that most creators don't struggle because they lack a niche. It's that they choose a niche before they really have clarity. So today I want to share 3 things that I personally disagree with when it comes to niching down and some things that you can do differently if you're unsure of what your niche is yet. Okay, so point number 1. So the biggest advice that new creators get whenever they are about to start a YouTube channel is that they need to first pick a niche. But when you're new, you don't actually know what it is you like filming, what you enjoy creating, what feels natural on camera, and what people are actually responding to. So they will start posting, they will start feeling uncomfortable. And then when videos don't start immediately performing, then they start to panic. And not only panic, they panic post. They start changing directions, changing their niche, posting off topic, chasing trends, and starting over and over again. And the problem isn't consistency, it's clarity. See, I believe that creators first need a period where they can experiment freely first without having all of that viral pressure on them. I actually call this the umbrella method, which I'll explain in my video coming next week. So if you're not subscribed, then make sure you're subscribed so that you can get a deep dive of what this experimental phase looks like. I'll give you a sneak peek of what the umbrella method is. So each of us will have an umbrella, but our umbrella is not a topic. So for example, your umbrella is not just cooking or cleaning or fitness. Your umbrella is going to consist of 3 different things. The first thing is understanding the audience that you want to help. The second thing is understanding what your mission is. And the third thing is the problem you solve for this audience. The sections underneath the umbrella are the different ways in which you are going to solve the problem. And this is really your experimental phase. So instead of asking, what should I post? You would be asking, how else can I solve this problem? And this is a very big experimental phase in the beginning. When I first started posting videos, I started with talking head videos just like this. I had a whole plan of my next 10 videos of how I was going to talk about health and fitness. And after I recorded like 2 or 3 videos, I was very discouraged. I did not like the way I sounded. And I ultimately realized that I just didn't like creating talking head videos. So then I pivoted over to vlog style videos. My first vlog style video ended up doing very well, but then I quickly realized that I didn't like filming them. I didn't like having to have my camera follow me around everywhere and film every little piece of my life. I wanted to just enjoy the vacation and the events and the things that we did without trying to constantly capture footage. So I then quickly pivoted again. So the thing that I'm saying is that my initial plan that I started off with all of these different video ideas, I quickly realized that the style of filming didn't fit what I wanted to continue with long term. So that experimental phase really gave me permission to hone in on a niche when 3 things lined up: the style of filming, the things that I enjoyed filming, and what my audience responded to. Once I was able to get the data, give myself enough permission to experiment through this phase, then I was able to double down on a niche. So if you're just getting started and you don't know exactly what you want to niche down on, then that's actually a good thing. That means you are in the right space. Committing too early and not seeing the results is one of the #1 reasons why people stop creating in the first place. So in many cases, niching too early isn't helpful. Now, on the other hand, if you know exactly who you want to help, exactly what you want to do, exactly what you're meant to do, then go all in. But if you're still debating, like, I don't really know if I want to talk about this, or this, or this, or I don't know how I can be helpful here, and you are a little unsure, then just allow time for that clarity to develop as you begin posting videos. So point number 2 that I disagree with is when people say to avoid overly saturated niches. Now, let me give you an example of what someone would think an oversaturated niche is. fitness, cleaning, cooking, self-help content. A lot of people want to get started in these areas and then they feel extremely discouraged because there are already hundreds and hundreds of thousands of creators making content in this area. How in the world am I able to compete with these types of creators? And then what will happen is that the creator will get discouraged and they will be paralyzed and will never get started. Or they won't start experimenting in an area that they really like because they're afraid that no one is going to see their videos and they are not going to stand out in these crowded niches. Now, just because a niche is saturated, it doesn't mean that all opportunity is gone. In fact, I think that it's a good thing because it means that there's a lot of demand in that area, meaning that people are really interested in those specific topics. Now, I grew a homemaking channel in one of the most oversaturated niches back in 2020 when everyone was cleaning their homes. And I even had a mentor, and I remember her telling me, do not start a cleaning channel. That's what everyone's doing. And it is so oversaturated. But here's the thing. People don't subscribe because something is new. They subscribe because something is helpful or relatable. And oftentimes standing out comes from perspective and not how rare the niche is. There's a concept that Tony Robbins talks about that I think a lot of creators misunderstand. Think of this. When a musician starts learning how to play guitar or playing the piano, they start off learning to play somebody else's songs first. Why is this? Because they are learning the chords, they're learning the rhythm, they're learning the structure of music. They're not automatically starting off writing their own song. But once you have learned enough songs, once you have found your rhythm, once you have found the way that you play and listen and experience music, then this is when you start creating your own music. Now, content works the same way. You don't start by inventing a brand new niche. You start by studying what works, recognizing those patterns, and then your own voice naturally emerges from there. So originality isn't typically where most creators start, but it is where they end up after learning these patterns. So you don't need to avoid a niche because you think that it is too oversaturated. You just need to learn the rhythms, learn the structure, learn the patterns, and start building your perspective within that niche. And when people feel connected to your message, that's when they follow. And the third thing is that I think a lot of people misunderstand what a niche is. Most creators think that a niche is just a topic. But really, my perspective of what a niche is the problem that you are consistently solving. For example, cleaning content isn't just cleaning, it is overwhelm, routines, maintenance, resets. It's that you're solving one category of problems from different and unique angles. That's what creates sustainable content. And the clearest niches have three distinctive parts. They have the problem, the person experiencing that problem, and the solution that you provide to the problem. So instead of thinking, my niche is cleaning, think of it like I help busy moms reset their homes with simple routines. This is what creates sustainable content because you're not stuck with just one topic. You're helping the same person solve the same type of problem over and over again. So if you are struggling to pick the perfect niche, you may just not need to decide yet. And you might just need some more clarity first. And in my next video, which make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it, I'll break down how the umbrella method will help you find your niche naturally instead of trying to force it.